afternoon and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. Today we're cooking a fabulous recipe for you, so sit back, relax and enjoy the time because I'm going to be making you a recipe that's out of one of my favourite cookbooks. I've got 8 favourites and it's the Cooking for One or Two, which is the latest one. And what's the recipe, you wonder? Well, it's this one here. It's the creamy pan-fried gnocchi. Now, this is such a great recipe because who doesn't love Italian food? So get excited because, as I've said before, we can't travel to Italy at the moment, but we're going to Italy in Annette's kitchen today. So before we get into the recipe, let's talk about last week's show, which was the homestead chicken pie. Thank you for all the comments there, and I think everyone was really enjoying that one. We had 3 winners, of course. Every week there's winners, and this was a chicken dinner one. And so Mary Thompson, fabulously excited, Kathy Hodgkinson, and Leonie Easterbrook. All first-time winners are super excited to get their personally signed copy of Book 4. All right, so let's look at what we need for this fabulous recipe. Oh, I love it. Bill and I have it a lot because, you know, sometimes you want a good lunch, you know, you don't want a sandwich, and this is our go-to because we love it. But I've got to tell you, prior to making this, I'll admit it, hand on heart, and swear, I did not like gnocchi. No, I didn't like it. It was stodgy, gooey. No, didn't ever like it. But follow the recipe like I do it and you'll love it too, I'm sure. So what we need is, of course, the gnocchi. And it's the dried gnocchi, okay? It's not the fresh. So what you can do is you can buy it in those packets like this, just on the shelf. They're not in the fridge section. And you use 250 grams because remember, this is cooking for 1 or 2, so that's right, this is only for 2, okay? Now, what you do is you have half the packet or 250 grams. Now, I just wanted to show you as well that you can get it gluten-free, and it's very nice as well. It just looks a little different, doesn't it, when you see how it's a bit yellower than the other, but, you know, for those who really can't have wheat or, you know, gluten, this is your option to go to. All right, so we start with the gnocchi. I've never made homemade gnocchi. Who could be bothered? They can just do that on MasterChef, I don't care. And so we need a tablespoon of Floralite margarine, teaspoon of garlic. Of course, we're in Italy. Got to have the garlic, and of course you can use the fresh if you want. I know some people say to me, why do you use the jar in it? And I'm all about easy peasy. I'm a lazy cook, honestly. I just love to eat, so you know, I want to get it done quickly. We're going to chop up some onion. We would only need 1/4 cup, and this is what I love about Cooking for One or Two, is everything's in small amounts. So not only is it cheap, you know, you're not buying lots of product, but it's quick to prepare. And we've also got some frozen peas, which is 1/4 cup. I'm going to slice up some mushrooms, and that's a cup. We've got the evaporated light milk because it is the creamy sauce that I want here. I'm going to use 3/4 cup of that. I've got my cooking spray, which I might just chuck over here right now. That's the one that I use for the Neoflam. We want 3 tablespoons, and I'm using the Kraft. I really like this one that you just buy because it's a bit low in fat, and I can't be bothered grating fresh either. So once again, I'm doing easy. We're going to put a bit of pepper in at the end, but we're also going to fold in a cup of baby spinach. So your vegetables really are onion, mushrooms, peas, and spinach. I know, fabulous. And to thicken it all, we just put a teaspoon of corn flour in. So are we ready to start? All right, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to be clever here, I'm actually going to start cooking the gnocchi, because traditionally, a lot of times, it's boiled. Whereas, I'm sorry, no, Glug City, I don't really want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do it, and I got the idea from the fabulous Diane. Yes, she was telling me how she loved it, but she fried it. So let's spray our pan with the rice bran. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of the Floralite margarine. I'm going to melt that. Put that in my soapy sink. And we're going to fry the gnocchi. I know, it's fabulous. and it just will come nice and brown. It's just completely different. But if you want, you can boil it. If you say, no, Annette, I'm not frying it, I want it boiled, then you know how to just do that. You just follow the instructions on the packet. I think you just add it to salty boiled water for a couple of minutes, and you can do it that way. But how about we try a different way, because that's what I'm all about here. So in goes the gnocchi, and I am just going to toss that margarine around, and while this is being fabulously cooked, I'm going to chop everything else up. But if you've just joined me, hello, I've already started. My pan's heated up. I've got my frying gnocchi in the pan, and we're just going to prep up the veggies, because this is a vegetarian dish, okay? So let's get the onion out of the way first. We need, let me put that away, we need only 1/4 cup. So we won't need all this onion. So I might just put that to the side. I always love having my little rubbish bin. Do you wonder what I'm chucking over here? This is my little bin. Of course, it's a bit pink and fabulous, but I always do that when I'm cooking. I always have a rubbish bin, because otherwise I'm back and forwards, and this way I just put it all in, and then it goes in the bin. In the olden days, when you used to get the plastic bags, you know, the Franklin bags or whatever you used to call them, oh God, that's showing my age, isn't it, Franklin's, I would put that in and then just lift it out. Let's just toss. Well, you can see it's starting to brown up. Looking good. Okay, so let's do our onion. Because you know how to do it the Annette way. First of all, it's a sharp knife that will get you there. And then cut down the sides. And as I said, we only want 1/4 cup diced. Not big chunks. We don't want big chunks in here. Ooh. And we want 1/4 cup. So it's not much. Put the rest of your onion in the fridge in a little container, and it will keep for something else you want to cook. Now, if you're saying, Annette, I'm sorry, there is 4 of us at home, this isn't going to work, I've got you covered, darl. It's, you know what, it's so easy just to double this recipe. So, you'd use the whole packet of the gnocchi, you'd use the whole can of evaporated milk, you just double the veggies like you'd have here, it'd be 1/2 cup. You know, super easy. And what I've got is my little tongs here, and just try and turn them all over, because you know what, those little cushions of beautiful gnocchi, just turn them over so that every bit's getting a bit of love on the pan. I'm just going to turn that down. And you're going to cook it like this for about 5 minutes. And it'll puff up a little bit. Looking good. Well, there's one that needs to be turned over. All right, so now let's do our mushrooms, and then kind of we're ready to go. So we want 1 cup thinly sliced mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, and I get that sometimes when some people say, oh, Annette, I don't like celery, or I don't like peas. Well, you could swap the peas for corn if you really wanted, or beans. If you don't like mushrooms, you could just add vegetables of something you like. Look at that, that's looking great. I love this recipe. I was so excited to cook it for you today, not only because it's so easy, but we get to eat it. I love it. But I think you'll find it's just so tasty. And as I said, it is vegetarian, but if you wanted to go away from the vegetarian theme, because I think sometimes it's nice to have a veggie meal. Some people do it once a week, just a little bit more. You could actually, in the pan, you could cook off some chicken. Or, you know, you could do prawns. Or what about bacon? You know, the bacon shortcuts. you could totally do that. All right. Now my gnocchi is looking great. So I'm just going to take it out now and leave that to one side. Let's bring our pan over again, because now what we do is cook off the veggies. So we start with the teaspoon of garlic. Here we go. Thanks for joining me today. If you're just tuning in, hello. We're in Italy right now and we're making the creamy gnocchi. That's right. The pan-fried gnocchi, I should say, a little bit different from normal. So we're going to put the peas in as well. They were just frozen peas. I don't wonder if anybody ever does normal peas anymore. I don't know. I mean, I can remember as a kid sitting down with the newspaper and a bowl, peeling the peas, but I think my mum soon learnt that I used to eat more than I'd peel. And so I didn't get that job very often. Now what we do, so you've cooked that off, in goes the mushrooms. Can you see this is very difficult? I mean, you know, it takes a great skilled chef to make this. No, and if you haven't got Cooking 102, then stay tuned, because I'll tell you how you might be able to win one. That's right. It's a fantastic cookbook, because Bill and I are just empty nesters now, and as I said, like, we'll keep that other packet, we seal it up, put it back in the pantry, or you could put it into a container and just keep it in the pantry. It doesn't need to go in the fridge, and in a couple of weeks we'll have gnocchi again. There we go. So what I'm going to do while that's just finishing itself off, I'm going to put in the measure the evaporated milk. Now you'll notice if you have got book 1 or 2 that I actually give you a list of the recipes in the book. Oh, am I throwing the mushrooms all over the place? You know, I'm a tosser, aren't I? But I'll give you a list of all the ways you can use up the evaporated milk. You know, because there's half a can left. It keeps in the fridge for a while, so it's no problem. But just remember, it's only 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of corn flour and just give that a little whisk up. And this is ready now. Look at this. We're just flying through the show. Thanks for joining me today. I love our Thursdays together. In goes the gnocchi. Oh, look, so easy. In goes the milk with that, remember that teaspoon of corn flour. And all I've got to do now is add in 3 tablespoons of the palmy. 1, 2, 3. Mix that in, because that will really build up that beautiful sauce flavour. I want some cracked pepper in, yes I do. And I would say a lovely big salad to go with this gorgeous dish would be fabulous. And all you have to do now, one more thing to do, and what you do is you turn it off. Let's move this over. Spinach is going in. You take it off the heat and we just wilt the spinach. That's all we've got to do, because it will cook down, or reduce down very easily because of the heat. And your dinner's done. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? We've got the fabulous creamy fried gnocchi. And as I said, if you go, oh, I don't want to fry it, well, boil it. That's fine. You do what you like. But I'd love you to try it with this. And I just think with the spinach, the peas, it's just a fantastic. And I think the mushrooms kind of give it a meaty texture. So if you're thinking, oh, don't think my husband would like it because there's no meat in it, well, you know what, try something new. All right, so let's serve it up. Here's my plate. And how I do that is I'll go down the middle and go, okay, that's for Billy, that's for me. In it goes. I think this is definitely something you should put on your list to try. Cooking for one or two. Thank you very much. There we go. And there's Billy's. He can serve himself. And there it is. I know, it's creamy, pan-fried gnocchi out of Cooking for One or Two. Now, if you want to win the cookbook that this is in, all you have to do is like, share, and on a Thursday, you know what we do? We write in the comment, hashtag Symply Too Good. Hashtag Symply Too Good. And really, this is only 9.1 grams of fat. Just remember, put that in the comments, but this is only 9.1 grams of fat. In the traditional way, with the fried, obviously they put a lot of butter, a lot of oil, then they've got the cream going in and the full fat parmesan. I can feel my thighs getting bigger talking about it. At least 20 grams of fat. I know, my way, 9.1. So this is just the way to go. Now, I'm excited because next week I've picked some super fabulous recipes. Now, next Tuesday, I thought, let's go to India. Yeah, well, in Annette's kitchen anyway. I'm going to be making an Indian curry, and it's a really nice, sort of smooth, nice, it's different to Thai or that type of curry, you know what I mean? So I want you to come and, you know, give it a try. You can get the recipe from the website, get the ingredients, make it with me on Tuesday. It's going to be fantastic, and you'll learn about all the different spices that really build that curry up. So I'm excited to teach you that one on Tuesday. But Thursday I'll be back again with my apron, and I'm going to be making, I'm sorry, you will never buy a frozen one of these ever again once you've been with me on Thursday. I'm making sausage rolls out of book 2. I only get invited to parties because of my sausage rolls. That's how good they are. They're fantastic. So look, you know what? Remember, if you want to go and check anything out, go to simplytoogood.com.au, and I will catch you next week. We're done. How easy was that? Enjoy your gnocchi, and I'll see you Tuesday. Bye now.